Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of The Insight. I am Babla Jonathan. Today we are analyzing the proliferation of fake documents in the Republic of Cameroon. This is fast becoming a major concern, with the governor of the west region of the country, our Fonka Augustine, raising an alarm and calling on users of documents, official documents, to ensure that what they are using is authentic. And now, even fake presidential decrees are taken to the state broadcaster, the Cameroon Radio Television CRTV, for publication within the context of the long wait for a new government to be put in place after the October 12, 2025 presidential election. Several months ago, the President of the Republic announced that a new government was going to be put in place in the days ahead, but this has not happened. And we are also looking at the possibility of having a new Cameroon, Project Cameroon, also known as Project C, piloted by some Cameroonians abroad, including Eric Chinje, veteran journalist Eric Chinje, and Barrister Obenson Are, and others, saying that a new Cameroon is possible. Now we are looking at how to move that from words to reality. Plus, the arrest and detention of political and human rights activists in Cameroon, including the recent cases of activist Jacques Bertrand Mang, detained in the Douala Central Prison, and Muslim scholar Abdul Karim Ali, who has been in detention in the Konding maximum security prison in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. We are looking at all these things for you. Stick around with us. We'll be right back in a moment. You're welcome back. Our guest today is one of the most outspoken lawyers in the Republic of Cameroon, who has constantly been speaking about issues of national interest, human rights, democracy, and of course, the rule of law in Cameroon. Dr. Barrister NKAMWAH LIMEN is a lawyer, lecturer of law, author, and musician. He is the owner of the NKAMWAH LIMEN law firm here in the country's economic capital, Douala. Author of the book, Bail in the Common Law and Civil Law Jurisdictions in Cameroon, Evaluation from a Practical-Based Perspective. He is also a humanitarian, founder of the Happy Kids Foster Home and Orphanage in Makepe here in Douala. Thank you for joining us today, Barrister.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Babila, and I wish to extend my regards to all your televiewers. And it's always a pleasure coming to share knowledge with you.
Right, it's also a pleasure having you on set with us to have these conversations that are very important. Now, let's begin with the issue of proliferation of fake documents in Cameroon. This is fast becoming a major concern, with even presidential decrees now, or fake presidential decrees now taken to the national broadcaster for publication. What is your analysis of this issue of the proliferation of fake documents in the country?
Mr. Babila, I have said on many occasions that Cameroon seems to be a nation that the spirit has left. You see, because it's not only at the level of fake documents, forgery, all those things, the whole society. You look at our society, you have the impression that the spirit is no longer in this country. Because if you want to talk about the forgery, the forged documents, you look about the killings, you look about the happenings, the drugs, all those things, you see that you hardly get something very good coming out from Cameroon. Now, coming to your questions, it's very, very, it is sad, but it shows how frustrated Cameroonians have become. If you see somebody sits and gets that initiative to do what the President of the Republic promised to do few months after election, you know that the people is an expression of tiredness. It is wrong doing that because it is punishable by the Cameroon Penal Code. If you read from Article 201 to 203 and onward, you will see that those are serious punishment that the sanction is life imprisonment, because when you fake the president's seal, the signature, all those things, those are very, very grievous offenses. But then, why? There is a question. Why would somebody get up and have that inspiration to do that? You see, because we shouldn't just condemn the act that the person did. What was the motivation? What motivated this person?
All right, before we go further to take a look at that particular case, what do you read in the fact that an administrator of the rank of a governor of the West region now sends out a press release saying, be careful of fake documents. Fake documents are everywhere.
Well, if an administrator comes out to decry that, it is a good thing that is decrying, but it is equally good to ask a question, why do we have these fake documents? Because at times, it might be equally be that there are bottlenecks in delivering these documents. So, why is a proliferation of these documents? Why has our society gone down to this level? There are so many questions to ask Mr. Babila. So, he has made an evaluation. I don't dispute his evaluation, but he shouldn't end at the level of that evaluation. He should try to see why the country is moving downward to this point that we don't only talk about forgery, we talk about youth destroying themselves in many other forms. So I think that it is good that he has actually pinpointed that there is this fact, but we should look equally to see why these facts are coming up. Is it because it is difficult for those people to have documents? Because, Mr. Babila, to have some of these documents equally are very difficult and expensive. And corruption hinders people from getting some of these documents. Is it the reason why people resorted to have these fake documents? It's a point to investigate. Is it that documents are so important in this country that if you don't have certificate, if you don't have a document, you cannot do things? We should equally look at that. So there should be an investigation to identify why there is a growth in the use of fake documents.
Administrative bottlenecks
yes.
in the issuance of official documents.
Believe me,
problem.
It is a serious problem in this country, Mr. Babila. Listen, documents that you have from the GO's office, the governor's office, or the prefect's office, you go and file them, you come, they say it's not around.
You should have the right to those documents.
Of course you have the right. You see, let me give you an instance. I had some documents legalized. I went to the GO's office in Douala 5, that was years back. The present GO there is extremely expedient. About 6-7 years, about 8-10 years ago, I went to, yes, about 9. I went to formalize this document. And I came back, they said, no, the GO is not around. And then somebody told me that the GO is somewhere there eating. I went there, I met him with some ladies. I said, sir, I'm here. I've dropped my documents. I need to sign. I need to travel to Yaoundé. He said that you come here to ask me here to go and sign a document. I said, of course, I need to come and ask you to go because you're not supposed to be here. So that is just a picture of our administration. You go there, you even send your documents. They misplace your documents. You come, you don't have your documents. Mr. Babila, the hurdles, the trouble are just too many for Cameroonians with the administrators.
The governor's press release looks like an expression of the seriousness of the problem. That it looks like it has reached a level, the peak, so to speak, because fake documents have always been there. Fake documents have always been there in Gonas, in Kumba, and all of those things. But this time we have the governor coming out to speak about this issue. It means that it has reached a very terrible level, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree with him. But as I said, he should not only do that evaluation, there should be an investigation. Why is it that there are fake documents? If it's birth certificate, at the level of the councils, at the level of the civil status registration, how is the procedure done? At the level of the GO's office, documents that need to be legalized, is it done expediently? At the level of the prefect's office for certificate of conformity, is it done rapidly? You see, all those things put together might tell you why people resort to do fake documents.
Because it's relatively easier.
Yes, it is easier. You just go, one person just tell you that, no, this thing that you're going to take 3-4 days, I even give 5,000 francs, come, let me do this thing and give you. And then Cameroon,
and sometimes it's actually original with
yes,
a
yes,
good stamp and everything.
Yes,
but
and
you need to go through some illegal tracks.
Yes, and then, Mr. Babila, don't forget that Cameroon, there are many countries, developed countries that don't use those fiscal stamps. Here you must put fiscal stamp, you must do this, and then you see, so it becomes cumbersome, it becomes expensive for citizens to have some of those basic documents. And so, it might be one of the reasons why people prefer to use those fake which are cheap.
However,
but I am not encouraging the use of fake document because it is an offense.
Right.
And if you're caught using a fake document, you'll be sanctioned.
Right. I was going to say that no matter the challenges, no matter the difficulties, it remains illegal.
Yes,
it remains a crime.
It is
to use fake documents. Maybe you should tell us a little more about what the law says about the forgery, about the use of fake documents, production of fake documents.
Yes, the person who produces fake document has committed an offense. The person who uses fake documents commits an offense equally. So both of them are condemnable. So, and then it depends, the gravity depends on what kind of document you forged. If you look at the section 203, which deals with signature and stamps of signatures and stamp and punches, you see that the penalty goes from 10 to 20 years and above. And then if you look at whoever forges great seal or makes use of such fake seal shall be punished with life imprisonment. So it is a felony. Felony means offenses that are punishable from 10 years and above. So it is not an offense that anybody should commit. I honestly pray that people don't get involved in things like that.
Now, about the specific case of the presidential decrees,
yes.
This is like the peak of it, because other documents are also being faked by some persons. But to fake the presidential decree, a presidential decree, and to that matter, not only faking it, but taking it to the national broadcaster.
Have the courage
for it to be broadcast.
Mr. Babila, you see, this case should be looked more upon as an eye-opener. Because where do you have the courage that after you forge such a document, you take it to the administration, you take it to the TV station to be announced? Look, this could be either madness or an expression of frustration at the highest level. You understand? Madness because somebody but when you look at the veracity and the how do I put it? The guy was he followed the meticulous nature of the document. You understand?
The track he normally follows.
Yes, and then the decree number, which was all right, and so you think that he's not mad. I think this guy is either used by one faction to create a problem, or he is expressing the frustration that Cameroonians have been waiting for, a promise that the head of state himself took in front of all Cameroonians, that in few days he's going to appoint a new government. So
and somebody decided to help him
to
appoint a new government, and even a vice president.
And believe me that guy can use that. That guy can use that as a defense. The head of state came and said that he had to do it. We've been waiting for it. He has not done it. So if you want to take me anywhere, take me anywhere. But the head of state ought to know that when you promise those things to the country, you should do it. Mr. Babila, it is funny, but it is an eye opener. And the question then to ask is, have there been some of these decrees that have been actually executed which are fake? You see, because to go to this level, you don't have any proof to show that this has not happened before. This caught the eyes, this caught the attention because it concerns key personalities. This might have caught the attention because it concerns key personalities.
And without the vigilance of the authorities, of CRTV.
Yes.
Eme Robebiyina, and of course the station manager. That would have been, I mean, the Director General of CRTV. Those decrees could have been read. And yes. If we imagine if those decrees were read, what would have happened later? Those are the questions that...
But you see, it shows another very weak issue in our country. How are those decrees normally carried from the presidency to the radio station? How did this young man, I mean, move freely to where he deposited this document? And the document was received. It's not like they drove him away with the document. The document was received. And it's upon verification that they realized that it was fake. So, did he respect, is there no standard procedure to take very important documents like that to the radio station? And if the answer, from that we will say that yes, there's no standard procedure, because if there was a standard procedure, that procedure would have been used. And if there's no standard procedure, what guarantees us that other degrees, right, presidential degrees, had not gone through using the same track?
Some people see in that action an attempted coup d'etat.
Of course, it is. It is. And an expression, what's a coup d'etat? Coup d'etat is an expression that we are tired, that we want to change. That's why I said that it is eye-opening. It could be out of madness, it could be out of gross frustration. Whatever the case, Cameroonians are waiting for a new government. Why not a new president, of course?
Now, what do you think about this long wait? It is becoming disturbing to many Cameroonians, even though the authorities are giving the impression that everything is all right. The government of 2019, headed by the head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph Jangute, is still in place, it's working normally. But Cameroonians are concerned about the fact that from 2025 till now, there is no new government after the presidential election, especially the fact that this government has been there for as long as since 2019.
Mr. Babila, only people who are not honest, only people who don't see the truth will be surprised by what is happening. What do you expect a frailing president to do? Nature is working on him. It is natural that at his age, he is tired. It is natural. And whose fault, therefore, is it? It is us. Because when you give mandate to a president who is frail, who is tired, who by virtue of his age cannot do certain things, you cannot expect the contrary. You cannot expect the contrary. So we should not be surprised that things are unfolding this way. We shouldn't be surprised. Because when you go and give mandate, you go and vote somebody you know is frail. Look, it's not a secret to anybody. It is not a secret. The president is frail. Even if you look at pictures in ceremonies where he is, they avoid showing full pictures. The president, it is natural. It is very natural, Mr. Babila, that at his age, there are things that he cannot do. At his age, is he thinking about his dizziness? Is he thinking about the drugs he has to take? Is he thinking about the... You see, let me tell you, to be honest with you, if I was the president, I would have decided to go on arrest. So you don't carry the burden of administering a country which is dying. Because the country is dead.
There's some analysts who think that he's kind of trapped and held hostage by a group of persons. And
we are saying the same thing. If you are weak, they hold you hostage. You cannot hold hostage. You cannot hold somebody who is powerful, who is strong. You cannot hold somebody who is powerful and strong hostage. So as simple as that. See, any judge, any officer who sanctions a Cameroonian for saying that the president is weak, he is frail, he is old, is a dishonest person. So if a case should come in front of a judge that they say that it is contempt because you said the president is frail, the president is ill, the president is this, and then they judge you, they sentence you, that judge is not correct. That judge is not honest. It is natural. People see him every day. We see the president is absent. And when the president is absent, we have those various camps. You have people who think that their camp should go this way. They have people who think that they are the successors. You have many people who are vying for the post. You see? And so it creates that disorder. And that disorder which is manifested in our street, as you see the garbages everywhere. I tell people that the garbage we see on the street is a reflection of the kind of government we have. Yes, because if you cannot gather, if you cannot clean the streets, to clean the street, if you cannot clean the street, what administration, what government do we have? So there are those little things. See, the points are so many. You look at the youth every day in villages. Mothers are coming out, they're condemning the fact that youths have become drug addicts. Youths are now taking the drugs. They don't want to. Why? Because the system has failed. Mr. Babinette has failed.
No, the blame on Cameroonians may not be received by many Cameroonians who think that they did not vote the current president, who still hold the opinion that they voted someone else, and their voices, their votes were stolen.
Mr. Babila, if somebody beats you and you don't cry, it means you're complicit. I know for sure that Cameroonians, right-thinking Cameroonians will not have voted as a current president, I know for sure. But if you vote and the election was rigged or whatever, and you stay quiet,
means you have accepted.
You have accepted. You have accepted.
Though many would have loved to do something about it, not necessarily going the violent way. Because about violence.
Of course. I am not a violent person. I condemn violence.
Protest.
Yes. And
some
then
would have loved to do that, but when they think about the gendarmerie,
and then I come again to the administrators, the gendarmes, the military. The military people who stop people from protesting without violence. Administrators who prohibit peaceful demonstration are not helping this country. They are not honest. Let us put it that way. They are not honest. If international law permits me to express freedom of expression, if the international law permits me to do peaceful demonstration,
laws duly signed and ratified
by Cameroon, and in constitute part of our law, because when the laws are being recognized by our constitution, preamble of our constitution, it becomes a law in Cameroon and it superrides every other national law. And then you, administrator, when you look at the country, are you happy? You, commander, you, colonel, you, general, when you sit and watch Cameroon, are you happy? Nobody can be happy. If you have a conscience, if you think of others, if you think of your family, you think of the youth, you will agree with me that it is not working.
Barrister, I want us to go to the newsstands now, and we're taking a look at what the newspapers reported this week. This is the press review. We'll be right back in a moment.
The Post reports that the Supreme State Audit has been urged to investigate the high level of corruption in the Council of Jakiri in the northwest region of Cameroon. Whistleblower reveals hundreds of millions paid for unexecuted projects. Locals resort to community labor to fix issues. Huge sums have been claimed for. The Guardian Post awaited appointments. Will Bia maintain Nyat Kavai Ayang dynasty? And about the fake presidential decrees appointing a vice president and a new government in Cameroon brought to the state broadcaster, the Cameroon Radio Television. Cameroon Tribune highlights a statement by the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, in which he says the publication of official documents follow strict and clear laid down procedures to ensure their credibility. The Herald Tribune: Mines Ministry charts new industrial development blueprint. The paper reports that Cameroon is ensuring a new phase of industrial transformation driven by hydrocarbons. bauxite, and the expansion of industrial zones. According to another issue of Cameroon Tribune, the government has succeeded in the reintegration of ex-fighters into the normal life trend. In the Voice, international anti-corruption and good governance crusader Barrister Karim hails the Archbishop of Bamenda and President of the National Episcopal Conference, His Grace Andrew Kia's new mission at the Holy See. And in another news article, the National Communication Council orders immediate stop to unlawful health advertisements. Municipal update: fight against hate speech, xenophobia. Bilingualism Commission Secretary General Dr. Chia Safo assessing progress in the Far North region.
Right, you're welcome back. Now we want to take a look at the continuous arrest and detention of political and human rights activists in Cameroon, with the recent cases of Jacques Mang, who has been arrested and is in detention in the Douala Central Prison, and of course Muslim scholar Abdul Karim, who is also in detention in the Yaoundé Kondengi Maximum Security Prison. Barrister's legal mind, what is your reading of this, what is now considered as a repression against political and civil society activists, human rights defenders in Cameroon, and even journalists? We are also talking about persons who took to the streets to protest, as we were talking about the post-election protests earlier. I mean, the election results, persons who took to the streets and who are also in detention till now.
You know, I'll start by greeting my client, Abdul Karim Ali. I'm his lawyer, and I'm happy that you brought up his name you mentioned his name in the people who are being detained. I was saying, and I said before, it is the responsibility of the judges, the investigators, to be honest with themselves. To be honest, to say that this thing that this person said was the truth, and therefore I will not sanction this person. We live in a society where we say human rights is protected, where we say we've ratified many international treaties providing and protecting human rights, and the fundamental, which is freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to peacefully demonstration, are all being curbed by a system which does not want that there should be any change for the improvement and betterment of Cameroon. Because that is it. You have some group of people who think that they should prevent others, they should work with the minority to stop the majority from getting good governance. As simple as that.
No, you wrote a book titled Bailed in the Common Law and Civil Law Jurisdictions in Cameroon. Yes. And in that book, you are making an evaluation from a practical-based perspective.
Yes.
One of those I mentioned earlier, Jacques Mang,
yes,
the activist in detention at the Douala Central Prison. His residence is known. He is a public figure. He is known, but he was denied bail this Friday, last Friday.
You know, I want to extend my greetings to
Jacques Mang.
Jacques Mang. Yes. He's somebody I follow scrupulously on social media. And believe me, all he does is he denounces those societal ills. That is what he does. And let me tell you, why should people like Elimbi Lobe be out? Not arrested. But people like Bertrand is being arrested. The law is not balanced. Because what has he done which is so different from what Elimbi Lobe did? Elimbi Lobe is even stigmatizing the Bamele case. He's insulting the Bamele case. He denigrates the Bamele case. And maybe Anglophones.
Whereas tribalism, hate speech are punishable by the law.
But nobody says anything. Nobody says anything, because as long as it recomforts the minority in power, they are comfortable. And then Bertrand is denouncing corruption. He denounces everything. And so to me, it comes, as I said, it comes still to the judges. Who is there to render justice? Is the offense bailable? Yes, his offense is bailable. Does he have a fixed residence? Yes, he has a fixed residence. Is he working? Does he have a job in? Yes, he's a claimant agent, as I heard. He has a company. So if you look at his case, every condition is united, is put together for him to have bail. But unfortunately, as I pointed out in my book, bail is granted at the discretion of the granting officer. So no matter what the law says, the law itself says that it is granted at the discretion of the granting officer. The granting officer might say, no, I'm not granting you bail. And that's what happens. You see? So, and that is why magistrates in Cameroon majoritarily cannot render very good judgments, or do I say majority of them cannot claim they are independent. They are not independent, whereas they ought to be. But if a call comes that this man should not be granted bail, he should stay in cell, that is what the magistrate is going to do. And that is why I still think that we should follow the common law practice where it is lawyers who become magistrates. When you walk, for example, if you think that I'm a magistrate in this country, do you think anybody will tell me what to do on a file? Nobody will tell me what to do on a file. And that is a positive nature of it. If tomorrow our bar president is maybe the head of the Supreme Court, do you think you come and tell him that you should do this? He will tell you no, because we have been trained to be independent. And you make the name in your capacity as a lawyer to be upgraded to judge, to magistrate. Now, when you leave a NAM, you don't have anything. You are still subordinate to a hierarchy, and they tell you that don't grant bail. You will not grant bail. I have friends who are judges.
And you are appointed by the president of the...
Yes, I have friends who are judges, and they will tell you, when this book, I did a lot of research. They will tell you that, no, I cannot grant because my boss has said I should not grant bail. Yes, and so you ask, why will... You say, no, I'm protecting my own small job. You see, that is the society where we live in. And we need a better Cameroon.
The case of Jacques Bertrand Man, the charges leveled against him include assault on an officer,
yes,
law enforcement officer,
yes,
disruption of public service,
yes,
and there's another one, defamation,
yes,
defamation online. Yes. And this happened because he went to a police station, yes, to demand that the officer, mm-hmm, who broke his phone, mm-hmm, who destroyed his phone, mm-hmm, should repair it. Yes. And he was, it's reported that he was doing some videos, yes, and the officer collected his phone and threw it on the ground, mm-hmm, and it got broken. Yes. So and now he's been charged.
The offenses you've listed are misdemeanors, which are bailable. Bail can be granted in those offenses. That's the bottom line. But still, it is not correct to go to reclaim your phone from the police at the police barrack. You understand? There is a law. If somebody seizes your property, meet a lawyer, serve him a notice for restitution. If they don't restitute, bring an action against the person.
He was asking the police officer to repair the phone.
No. You must not go yourself. You must not go. A lawyer would have written that on this day. Yes, on this day, you destroyed the phone belonging to my client, and so please, within this period of time, make sure you either repair or restitute his phone. If he doesn't, they make a bailiff report on the damaged phone, and then you see the courts. You see, there must be rule of law.
How can we help this?
Okay, for those who are out of the country, you go on the platforms like Amazon. You have them there in different languages, and you can get them online. Then you can get it through my office too. You can get it through NKAMWAH LIMEN law firm in Douala, and it is very important. And I'm very happy. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Cameroon Bar president, who actually got some of the books to send to some administrations. And I equally want to thank the secretary of the bar, the bar secretary, who actually got about 150 copies to share to advocates in training. And then they have formally asked me to translate this book into French, because the French colleagues in Cameroon, they need to have the book. So it is a very important book. It tells you your rights and how to benefit from the laws to gain bail during criminal litigations.
All right. How soon are we going to have the French translation?
I'm traveling out of the country tomorrow for that, so maybe in the next 2 months we can have it.
All right. So if you want to know everything about the right to bail in the common law and the civil law jurisdictions in Cameroon, go get a copy of this book, and you'll be edified. You will know exactly what is happening, because it brings to you a practical base perspective evaluation of the practice of the principle of bail in the common law and civil law jurisdictions in Cameroon. Now, let's proceed, Barrister, to talk about the case of your client, Muslim scholar and human rights activist, Abdul Karim. What is his situation? The case was in court recently on the 17th of June, 2026, and was adjourned to the 19th of August, 2026.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. I'll not get into the facts of the case because I'm not allowed to do that. But yes, with the case came on, and I'm the lone lawyer for Abdul Karim, and we have a good case. We'll work in court and get the best. For now, what I can tell you is that Abdul Karim is no longer under a life sentence, because once an opposition to a judgment that was rendered in default is done, the previous judgment ceased to exist. So we are very optimistic. We are calling on the magistrates to use their consciences, as the law says, the law and their consciences, and to avoid interference, because the law says that they are independent. So that is it, and I'm very optimistic that the case is one of an ideology and not one of violence. He's not a violent person. He has an ideology, and the law permits us that we have freedom of expression. If I think that
freedom of thought,
freedom of opinion and expression. So if the law says that if I'm a Southern Cameroonian and I say I'm a Southern Cameroonian, I should not be sanctioned because I'm a Southern Cameroonian and I defend those values. So, in summary, that's what I will say. And I'm happy that my client is in a very good state of mind, very determined, and I'm happy that many people are supporting him in this fight. And I call on everybody to always come up and say something good to encourage Abdul, who is not fighting for himself, but is fighting the cause for the Southern Cameroonians. There is a difference between being a secessionist and fighting for Southern Cameroons.
Even though as of now we have Northwest and Southwest.
Yes,
and not Southern Cameroons.
Yes.
That was formerly Southern.
That is a history. You cannot wipe the history. You cannot wipe history. Cameroon used to be spelled with K, correct? There are documents showing that Cameroon was K. And so if those documents exist, you cannot say Cameroon has never been a country with K.
And those two regions were formerly Southern.
Yes.
All right. Now we are looking forward to the law being said or done.
Yes.
And seen to have been done. As lawyers put it. All right. Let's take some interviews now. We'll be right back in a moment to talk about the possibility of a new Cameroon, the possibility of moving Cameroon from where it is now to a better situation.
We we are not yet at the stage of debate. We are still at the stage where we are asking that they should first of all grant him the bail. He went down to Upe to carry out a small discussion with the youth of Upe. During that particular meeting, he, as he usually does, he takes videos and he posts them on his page on Facebook. A policeman came and took his phone and hit the phone on the floor. So his phone got back. There were some conflicts between them and arguments, and at the end of the day, he was being arrested there. Jacques Bertrand Mang, in this case, is not a victim. He's not supposed to be behind bars. Instead, we have a police officer who has violated his rights, destroyed his phone, and did not respect the law in less than 48 hours. That makes no sense. I've never seen that in Cameroon. I've never seen such an expedition that has been so quick. And that is where I start raising questions on if what is being held against Jacques Bertrand Mang, if they are not using it to actually shut him down. We know that anybody who tries to stand against a particular regime, as that which we know here is authoritarian, certainly there should be mechanisms that will be put in place to shut him down. My client, Mr. Jacques Bertrand Mang, has been standing against this regime, condemning them for their poor governance. Jacques Bertrand Mang has been fighting corruption, even homosexuality.
I think the problem is that the Cameroonians are now more conscious of our politics, or the politics of the day, than before because of social media. So there's this tendency of not being patient enough to wait. You know, taking certain decisions in Cameroon is very complicated because we have 250 tribes that you have to take into consideration. We have 300 political parties that you have to take into consideration. And we have the sensibilities of Cameroonians which you have to affect by any decision you're taking. So it's not going to be very easy to take a decision at a moment's notice or at the pace at which certain persons may want. Secondly, we know we have a president who takes his time. His time is his time. And he's a constitutionalist. He knows that he cannot go against the law. There's nothing in the law that says the president should appoint a government at a particular time or appoint the vice president that I've been talking about. And then thirdly, you should understand that to appoint a vice president, it is stated in the constitution that the president may. There's that conditional word, may. So it's not even an obligation on him to appoint one now. See, he may do it. And the way he does it depends on him. So at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything very special except the fact that Cameroonians are not patient enough to wait. I don't think there's any confusion because the ministers are still doing their jobs. Those who are empowered to manage the issues of Cameroon are still there doing their job. Nobody has hesitated so far. Nobody has, apart of the two ministers that resigned, and those that are dead, as well as some parliamentarians which are no longer there, but no longer alive. I think everything is going on normally.
Thank you for staying with us. We are wrapping up this edition of The Inside with our guest, Dr. Barrister NKAMWAH LIMEN, lawyer, lecturer of law, author and musician, owner of the NKAMWAH LIMEN law firm here in Douala, and author of the book Bail in the Common Law and Civil Law Jurisdictions in Cameroon, Evaluation from a Practical-Based Perspective. Thank you for staying with us. Now, Barrister, do you believe in a new Cameroon?
Oh, yes, I do. If I didn't, I would not be talking here. I would not be saying the things that we need to do. I believe. I don't only believe, I am working. I am working for a better and a new Cameroon.
What do you say to many Cameroonians who have become very skeptical and they do not believe that anything new, anything can happen in this country with regards to the current situation of the country and the trend it has taken for the past 4 decades and more?
I want to tell them that those years, we have other. If you go through history, you see that other nations went for a longer period, and finally they got delivered. We just need to be optimistic, and then we should not forget one thing: we are all children of God. There is a God, And every problem that you cannot resolve as a human being, God has the power to resolve it naturally. And so, one day, whether we like it or not, God will resolve the problem of Cameroon. All of us who are pretending to love this country will one day fade away. All of us who are doing bad, that we are protecting our personal interests in this country, will one day quit the scene. It is very natural. Even some of us who are fighting that to have a better Cameroon will one day leave the scene for others to come. But we have a responsibility. We should not be foolish enough not to say this thing is bad, not to condemn what is wrong.
Right, Barrister, I want you to look at this camera right in front of you and talk to those Cameroonians who are still thinking of undertaking the perilous journey through the desert, through the sea, to see greener pastures abroad, because they have become so disappointed and desperate that they feel nothing good can come out of this country, and so they are undertaking the perilous journey. Some, as we speak now, will be contemplating and putting together some thousands and millions to undertake the perilous journey.
You know, it's a huge responsibility for me, but I must address this with the youths. I've been a victim. I equally went through that route. It is very dangerous. Even when I went out, I didn't make it. I came back in the country. Think of a plan B. Went back to school, and today I'm a lawyer. I have a PhD in law. I am making it in the country. And do you know something? It's those embassies who I always send the passport now, they put the visas. So when you should first of all try, in Cameroon we have the opportunities. If you don't have a genuine way of living this country, there are so many things we can do. I know that the system is so bad that they don't permit us to even do the little that we want to do, but we can always still find a way. You can learn how to build a house. You can learn how to do aluminium work. You can learn so many things that you not even count on the government. And you make your small money, and then you develop yourself. That's it. You transform yourself. And tomorrow you have your own family. And when you ask for the visa, they will hurriedly give you the visa. Please, I understand it is very, very frustrating thing in this country. I understand. But let us not do drugs. Please think about developing yourself. It is very, very important. Whatever you are doing, please try to grow in what you are doing. And the little money you have is not to go out to clubs and spend it. Try to save that money until when you have sufficient that you can now think of maybe taking a part of the profit to enjoy yourself. Learn to build yourself, please. Please, I understand it is very difficult in the country, but some of us are there to advise you to take the right path and to be successful tomorrow.
And this issue of drug consumption is a serious problem in Cameroon. We've seen protests, especially women taking to the streets in different parts of the southwest region recently to denounce illegal drug consumption and the devastating effects on the Cameroonians, on those who consume, and even the society, and also calling on those who are financing from behind, those who are using it to make money, distribution of drugs, sales of drugs, to stop.
Mr. Babila, it is one of the reasons why you find youths doing what they are doing is frustration. They believe that they don't have a destiny. Even the little that the state could do to accommodate them, most of them, they don't see it. Most public exams are bought before they are bought before they are written. These children, they don't have capital. Whereas we have ministers who have fleets of cars. These children, they don't have who to advise them. They feel that they have indeed their life is a problem to them. And so that is how they resort to take some of these drugs to say, okay, let me forget about the problem. So the government is equally very, very guilty in what is happening to the youth. The government is a primary cause of what is happening to the youth, Mr. Babila. If the government provides these youths, keep them busy, you will not have them where they are.
And that does not, however, take away their own responsibility.
Now,
the responsibility
the
of
first part of my argument was pleading to them to know that that route is not the best. I've already said it. You are killing yourself, you are destroying yourself in front of a government that does not care. Whether you die, whether what happens to you, they don't care. So, when you start taking those things, you destroy your own very self in a system that does not care. I am advising whoever is taking drugs to know that it is a very, very bad thing you are doing. You are destroying yourself. You make your family become ashamed of you, and you become a danger to the public. Please, you can do better. I know, I trust you, you can do better. Stop it.
All right, Project C, Project Cameroon, piloted by veteran journalists, legendary journalists, Eric Chinje, and some other persons, including Barrister Are Obenson and others, says that a new Cameroon is possible. Now, the question is how to move that from words to reality.
You know, Mr. Babila, when you hear me call on authorities, when you hear me call on generals, you hear me call on commandants, you hear me call of magistrates, it is because we cannot attain, we cannot have a better Cameroon without the contributions of all these people. That is the reason why I called them. Appealing to them that Cameroon can only change when they believe that what is happening now is wrong, and that the people should aspire for a better tomorrow. Mr. Babila, I didn't call those people for nothing. I didn't call them for nothing. You know, the French Revolution of 1789 was successful because the army that was sent to stop the population, he went and fraternized with them. They refused to kill. I said, no, these people have not done anything wrong. They asked for bread, and Marie Antoinette, the queen, said, if they don't have bread to eat, they should eat cake. The situation in France was not so different from what we have. So when I call those people, it's because they have the responsibility. They should know that they are serving the state. When you look at Gabon, and you see that there is a change and life is positive, are we not happy to see that Gabon is doing fine? Are we not happy to see that Burkina Faso is doing fine? Are we not happy to see that Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, because when I call the two, there might be a perceived this thing that I'm calling for military to take over. No. Look at what is happening in Senegal. It's an example that I'm citing. They went through democracy. And the institutions did not interfere with the results. When we have good initiatives coming from people like
Eric Chinje,
let me tell you something. I was walking one day and one woman came and greeted me and said, Monsieur Eric Chinje, bonjour. I said, ce n'est pas moi, c'est mais vous avez la même. It's funny, but it is good. And then we fight for the same cause. You told me that you both talk the same, you fight for the same cause. He cannot succeed if we don't give them an enabling society. We must give them an enabling society. And it is for us, all Cameroonians, to aspire for a better Cameroon. We cannot aspire for a better Cameroon when magistrates are there waiting to sentence innocent Cameroonians. We cannot aspire for a better Cameroon when military is there to prohibit people that he ought to protect from requesting for a better Cameroon. We cannot have a better Cameroon when our institutions is being managed by people who think of themselves and not the betterment of the society. Mr. Babila, I don't have, but I had the initiative to open an orphanage where I take care. Government send me the children. I receive no subvention from the state. I take care of those children. Not because I have so much, Mr. Babila, but because that is the way we should live in a country. We should show love. We should share the little we have. And Mr. Babila, the secret is those who share never lack.
Never lack.
That is the truth. And I learned that from my spiritual father, Sir Tumfo Nico Hale. You see? And if you look at him, he doesn't lack. We don't lack because we are givers. So, if these people who are managing these institutions, they work for the interests of this nation, Mr. Babila, will have a better Cameroon. I want to support my senior brother, Eric Chinje, for such. He has been steadfast in his lane of having a better Cameroon. And I think that one day Cameroon will tell him, thank you. We want a change in this country. A better Cameroon is possible. But all of us must be responsible.
Right. Join the conversation every Saturday at 3 p.m. Cameroon time. Conversations going on online, bringing together Cameroons from within Cameroon and abroad, from across the globe, discussing the possibility, discussing not the possibility because it is evident, but discussing how to move the possibility from words to reality, the possibility from words to reality, a better Cameroon. And we are wrapping up with this edition of The Inside. But before we go, Barrister, tell us quickly something about your music career. You have released quite a number of songs recently.
You're right. You know, before I became a lawyer, I was a musician, and through me, I think other artists should know that you can transform you can transform yourself. You see, you can become a lawyer, you can have a PhD in law, you can lecture law, you can teach in very big places. So I think I'm good in music. Some of you tell me that the music is good.
The dance is
avocat. And then I'm traveling out of the country probably tomorrow. And when I'm coming back, of course, there'll be a new album.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for coming to have this conversation with us.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today's edition of The Inside. God bless Cameroon. God bless Africa. Goodbye.